Good morning. Good morning from a bit more of a structured Dynodaze morning live chat. Now, when I say structured, yesterday we said, who has got suggestions for today's chat? So I wrote some down and I picked some, and here we go. So this is what we're doing. We're going to talk about what was suggested, which was, in fact, a couple of subjects. One, why did I buy an FN2? Two, aliens. Random, but you guys know I love it. And three, a Honda Stream. And I've got absolutely no knowledge of a Honda Stream. I don't think I've ever sat in one. So we're going to do a bit of a thing this morning. So whilst I'm looking up Honda Stream on Wikipedia, what involves the VTEC? We're gonna deep dive into the Honda Stream because I just don't know anything about them. I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining me. And if you're watching this back later, in the comments below, make suggestions on what tomorrow's live chat will be. It's a funny experiment, and we're seeing how we're going. Morning, Flawless Culture. Hope you're well. Yes, so we'll kick it off with why did I buy a Honda Civic FN2 Type R? I have been driving Mitsubishi Colts since 2006, owning, modifying, tuning, all sorts of things, setting up owners clubs, developing parts. That was the Mitsubishi Colt, and I've always had a Mitsubishi Colt, and I will always have one. But at some point, I decided, everyone's going on about EP3s, and we see a lot of EP3s in the workshop. So I figured one came up for sale pretty cheap. It was a Cat S, actually, EP3. Mechanically sound. Had a bit of a scrape down one side, but I didn't care too bad. It just looked like it had been down a heavy bush. So I smoked around in an EP3, and Richard mapped it up, and it lit my hair on fire. And everywhere I went, it was on VTEC. And my previous experience of VTEC had been an MB6 Civic, a B18, and I loved that, and I regretted selling it. So in the EP3, I smoked about, but I deleted a mid box, and it was loud and aggressive, and everywhere I went, it was like my hair was on fire, like I was being chased by aliens, in fact. So I figured I needed to calm down a bit. I absolutely love the car, but I needed to calm down a bit. And I thought to myself, I do want something that's VTEC, but something that's more a bit of a comfortable daily. And the right car came up at the right time, an FN2, a championship white FN2 Civic. It had done like 120,000 miles. I thought the price was right. Had a little bit of history and a little bit of heritage to it. So I picked up an FN2 Civic. And the reason I went for a Civic is because whilst I was knobbing about in my EP3, we had an influx of FN2s to tune, modify and tune. And I loved the fact that after Richard had mapped the FN2s, the customers' FN2s, the smiles on the customers' faces were amazing. I loved the technology that went into it, because we've been used to tuning Colts where, yeah, Ecotech software is great, but it didn't come with the bells and whistles, switchable maps and adjustable launch control, flat foot shifting, auto limit, all of these awesome things that the FN2 came with. I really felt like it was really not just improving the performance of the car, but improving the drivability, the ownership, and the connection that you had to the car. So that's why I sought out an FN2, and I was right. I bought one; it wasn't mapped, and then eventually we modified it. And over a slow process, Richard started to map it and mapped it in various different levels as I added more parts. I was totally right. The technology that goes into them was, the mapping, everything. It was brilliant, and I am absolutely in love with my FN2. So generally, the reason why I bought my FN2 Civic was because I'd seen so many on the dyno being tuned. I love the look of them. The interior is the bit that you see when you're driving. So whenever you're driving, you don't see the outside of the car, you see the inside of the car. And the FN2 is a great place to be. It's full of technology. It's got creature comforts. It's got great aircon. It's got comfy seats. Yeah, it's light years ahead of the cars that I've been driving previously, which was the Mitsubishi Colts. Light years ahead. The interior is far better. The build quality is better. And don't get me wrong, I'll never be without a Colt because I absolutely love them. But the FN2 for me is a fantastic car. I'm really pleased that I got that. And that is the reason that it's simply, I'd seen so many in this workshop, see the technology and the maps that were going on them, seeing the smiles on people's faces and the enjoyment of driving them. And I was like, yeah, that's my next daily. So I sold the EP3 and I bought the FN2. That is why I bought an FN2. So there you go. Good morning, Steve. Yes, they are the dog stanglies, mate. I find that the FN2 is an old man's Type R. Well, I am an old man, so perhaps that's the reason. Morning, FN Tube. Shalom, Matty. Yeah, creature comforts in the FN2. Creature comforts in the FN2 for sure. But yeah, that's the reason why I bought it. Being in it, literally being inside it, is the reason that I bought one. And the way that you are connected to what's going on with the steering wheel, whether it be switchable mats, adjustable launch control, you know, all of these things that previous cars that I've had just didn't have. So yeah, really, I'm still really happy with my purchase. And when we did buy it, or when I did buy it, I instantly refreshed it from the suspension, undersealed it, all the bushes, and then started, you know, brakes. So I did all brakes, all new suspension, all new poly bushes. That was the first hit with the undersealing, and then I went performance mods after that. But very lucky, obviously, that I've got a Richard to do things like that. Okay, so moving on. So that was subject number 1. So watch that back if you want to find out why I bought an FN2. So that was subject number 1 covered. Pretty straightforward, really. Loved it. Bought one. Subject number 2 was a strange one, but I think it's because you guys know me, and it was aliens of all things. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you think we're alone in the universe? I know I get some phone calls off some pretty special people. So some part of me thinks that some of the people that call me are aliens. Some interesting questions. I had a phone call yesterday from a chap, and he said, and I'm not going to do an accent. But he said he had a Seat Leon FR, and it keeps going into sleep mode. Well, the internet's a wondrous thing, isn't it? And I then obviously said, do you mean limp mode, which is where it goes into a safety thing where it's not revving? Yes, that's what I said. Sleep mode. No. Limp mode, as in limp home mode. Limp mode, as in trying to protect itself. Yeah, limp mode. Okay, but you said sleep mode. But okay, cool. He says, so what is it? What's wrong with it? And I may have actually said that I didn't have a crystal ball, and I said that that could be a billion different reasons why that's got into limp mode, and I'm not sure, and it's not something I could diagnose or even suggest over the phone. And as you're probably well aware, if I say, yeah, that's your MAF sensor, mate, he'll go and buy a MAF sensor and then complain that it wasn't the MAF sensor. So nobody does that. Nobody diagnoses anything over the phone. If somebody wants a car diagnosing, there's no sending a photograph of the engine management light. Why is that on? And there's no my rev counter stopped working. What is the reason for that? No, there's none of that. Without the car physically being here, without a computer being plugged into it, without a mechanic physically standing in front of it, looking at it, listening to it, there's no diagnosis over the internet, and nobody should do it. Good morning, Modfix. I love EP3s for defo a better interior. There's loads of aliens about. There totally is. We cannot be alone. As Robster VTech says, we cannot be alone in the universe. It's just so infinite. There has to be something else out there. Now, there is a strong suggestion for there is no universe, and there is no space, and there is nothing out there, and we do live under a firmament, and It cannot be penetrated. This is where we are. Some people suggest that that's it. That's what God made. It's this and nothing else. I'm a firm believer of there's aliens from countless different universes, and a bit like in Star Trek, there's a federation of planets where they're not allowed to interfere with us because we are a particular level of civilization. And when we surpass the levels of civilization that we're at the moment, then aliens can come and speak to us. Like, for example, we would have to set out into space and make first contact. And at that point, then that alien race can speak to us. And that's the rules. Sleep where you are mode. I like it. I was looking at Ford ST Golf R32 and the FN2. Went with the FN2 due to there being more reliable and you could kick its head. Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, absolutely, man. Ford STs, no. R32s are a good car, but again, not for me. There's definitely something out there. I agree. Unless we were in a simulation, yeah, and that is quite possible. Some of the reason that for me thinking we're potentially in some form of civilization is just by looking at the technology that we've got right now. I would imagine in 10 years' time, maybe, the way technology accelerates, maybe in 10 years' time, we would have enough server or computer power to simulate beings that don't know they're a simulation. So, for example, just as a late in layman's terms, there's a computer game called The Sims. So imagine someone developing a computer game like The Sims in 100 years with all sorts of quantum computer and stuff, where you are technically that Sims god. And if there's enough computing power for artificial intelligence to be inside the little sim, walking around in the little simulation world, and that little sim doesn't understand that he's in a simulation, well, that would be us, because there will be enough computing power then. And in theory, if in 1,000 years or 1,000,000 years there's enough computer power to make a simulation of this planet, its weather systems, the people, the politics, the religions, space, technology, if there's enough computing power to actually simulate that, then the chances of us right now sat here being in what's called base reality are extremely slim. Because there will be, like people talk about a multiverse, there will be a million simulations of the same thing happening where someone says, just add another 2 degrees of global temperature to that simulation and see what happens. And that'll be us. And then in the next simulation, it'll be, let's have a total war where artificial intelligence, robots, and Terminators try and take over that planet. And that'll be a different universe. But basically, the chances of us being in base reality, where this is the first time through, we are real, and this is the first time this planet's ever got to this stage. That's extremely slim. Men in Black. Well, the Russians have had a president or a prime minister actually visited on his lawn by aliens, and he apparently he's got no reason to lie, has he? So maybe they just gave him hallucinogenic drugs and brainwashed him. But yeah, he said that there is a document that shows all of the off-world aliens that live here, and they do have like passports, and they are allowed to be here under certain conditions and things like that. So yeah, I can believe in Men in Black for sure. So that was my thoughts. We're definitely not alone. We're definitely not alone. I would go as far as saying that they're actually parked on the moon observing us. In fact, the moon itself might have been put there by them. So that was my second topic, which was aliens. Third topic, which is going to be a bit more difficult for me because I talk about aliens all day anyway. But the second topic, which is going to be the third topic, which is going to be a bit more difficult, is this one here. So let's have a go. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, is a Honda Stream. And I really don't think I've seen one. Now, I've seen a Honda Odyssey here. We've done some work on a Honda Odyssey, but this is a Honda Stream, and someone's going to tell me that is a Honda Odyssey, aren't they, or something? But yeah, I don't know much about them. Obviously, we don't see many of them. What is that? That's a design flaw. I mean, it's a smart looking vehicle, but what is its actual purpose? It's a Honda estate. Probably very American. Maybe something that the Americans would like a lot, perhaps. Well, that interior just looks like any decent Honda's interior, I suppose. So, for 2006, 5-speed. What sort of engines are we getting in them? So, D17, K20A. Wow. K20B. Don't think I've ever seen a K20B, have I? I don't think so. Manual and automatic. Okay. The R20A. 140. Yeah, not full fat. Not full fat. CVT, nobody wants that. Well, there we go. That's about as much as that's some front wheel drive. Singapore, Malaysia. That is about all I know. Also, for the 3-wheeler of the same name, see Honda Gyro. Brilliant. Multi-purpose vehicle, MPV estate car. Yeah. Not my cup of tea. Looks like a fat Jazz. I like it. Not generally, not my cup of tea, but you know, I really do appreciate a Honda. I think that's a smart vehicle. I think that looks quite smart. I think I'd be happy driving that. To and from work, perhaps. I think that'd be quite nice. Morning, Chris. How you doing? What's new in all things Cowbunga Car Diaries? References. Yeah, well, there you go. So I said that we talk about the Honda Stream, and there it is. Now, I do know of a Honda Stream in this country that's had a K24 Frank swap in it, but it's got a turbocharger on it. It's got a screamer pipe. I'm sure he'll pop his head in later. Now that we've said we're going to talk about the Stream, Indonesian, good colour. Do you think they clean some? I mean, I know it's Wikipedia, but somebody else is building this. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's about as much. So what I have just read right now is as much as I know about the Honda Stream. Some exciting cars coming onto the channel soon, mate. Fantastic. That sounds great. Stream RST. In some countries, this variant of the Stream only had 2 rows of seats. For the RST model, a combination of the removal of the 3rd row seat in some countries and the adoption of lightweight 17-inch alloys reduces weight and improves handling and acceleration. The handling is further enhanced by suspension tuning, and a tailgate spoiler is also added. Well, fantastic. That is ace. Seven-speed paddle shift. Yeah, well, I think I've exhausted my my talking on the Honda Stream, but I'm sure there's plenty to learn. So there we go. We've covered a few topics this morning. We covered why I bought an FN2, aliens, and also base reality, and the fact that we might be in a simulation. Zafira VXR for Honda folk. No, I think the Zafira VXR actually had a bit of poke. That was actually pretty quick. I owned one, for a little while. Blue one, a bus, family bus, that made about 320 brake, which was embarrassingly quick considering my Evo has only ever been 350 brake. So this a Vauxhall Zafira was like, up there, 300 plus brake horsepower, which is really mental when you think about it. So that's what I think we're going to do. Citroen C1 all the way. You love that little thing, don't you? You love that little thing. So I think what we're going to do is, I think it gives us some structure to what we're going to talk about in the mornings on the live chats. And obviously I'm going to tell you what we're doing during the day at Dynodaze, so I'm still going to do all that. So we've got a Mitsubishi Colt in today for a timing belt and a map. So we're going to be doing that today. That's a long day. We had Samuel, which is a work experience kid from school in yesterday, and I think he enjoyed his day here. He got to learn a bit, got to see a bit. We got some massive flames out of a Cosmic Grey EP3 on the dyno yesterday, so that was fantastic for him. And then he got to do a bit of like sort of soda blasting as we're moving towards getting our rocker covers ready for paint and to sell people. So at Uncle Keith's paint shop, we're going to have several sort of rolling rocker covers ready. So they'll be. Good morning, Keith. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh,
yeah. How was did you have a good day yesterday? Successful day?
Yeah.
You were working on carbon fibre yesterday.
A lot of sanding yesterday.
A lot of sanding.
Yeah. Hopefully the nice bit today, putting a bit of paint.
Yeah, nice bit of paint. Oh, good. Yeah, another Sam. So everyone's Sam or Jason, ain't they? We know like 4 Jasons down here. I'm going to measure my exhaust. Fantastic. What are you measuring? The bore? 3-inch. Hope so. That'd be good. Yeah, so as I was saying, we young Samuel, the work experience lad, got to see a bit of soda blasting. Is that what it's called, mate?
Yeah, everywhere I go, I can smell it.
Yeah, it's like a salty in the air, isn't it?
It's like in here. And I've just got in my bit, and you can
taste it almost.
Yeah, I think it's just in the air.
I'm pretty sure it's bicarbonated soda, and you fire it, and it cleans stuff. So that's going to be our media for getting them clean. We do need to dip them first to get all the grease off them and oil off them and stuff. So we're going to need to wash them out and dry them before we do that soda blast. That was our first mistake. And then we're ready to do sort of an exchange basis on rocker covers for the EP3, the Mitsubishi Colt, and the FN2, and that's because they're the ones that we've got. So we'll start there. But the beauty of Uncle Keith's paint shop is you can pick your colour. It could be anything under the sun. If it can be made in paint, we can put it on a rocker cover. We're trying to figure our prices out somewhat because, as I say, there's a few bedroom traders still doing it, and they're probably happy for you to wait 12 weeks and make £20 profit, and we're not. We want to get it done. Turnaround time. I suppose if we've got one ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, if we've got one in its.
So if somebody phones up and says, right, I want one, here's the money.
Prepped and clean.
Yeah, if it's prepped and cleaned, then realistically,
it's a space in the booth, then it can go in.
Yeah, it can go and get painted. So probably 48 hours to get it done.
Yeah.
And then it'll get baked off, won't it?
Yeah.
And then
we've got to make sure it's dry. We can't package it up wet
and
send it out
then
to
it's
people.
Probably then another 48 hours.
Yeah.
So it's going to be about a week turnaround, ain't it? Once you order one, you'll have it
Yeah, a week could be more.
5 working days, maybe.
Yeah. So once you've ordered one, once we've got a price sorted, it'd be a week turnaround time, nothing short of that, because we won't take any money off somebody unless we've got one. We're not one of these companies that has to rely on another company painting it. I know someone who's been waiting months for one, and that's not going to happen here because 1, we want to take your money for them, and 2, we want you to fit it to your car.
What do you reckon to being able to get an Uncle Keith in the actual paint, or a Dynodaze in the actual paint?
Oh, if there's,
if I have mine redone, I want it in there.
Yeah, it depends on the K20 because there's quite a few flat bits in there. But
yeah,
I'm not overly sure. What if there's?
I don't think you'll do it on a Colt.
No, because there's not enough flat.
Oh, maybe there is.
I'd have to look at one.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look. We'll have to have a look.
So I went on a right mission yesterday.
I can't believe that.
I left work at 5. I didn't get home till just, I think, maybe 8:05 for 2 lightsabers. Basically, what had happened,
because they turned up at the door.
They turned up at the door, and obviously the kids, Bridie was at home, Margaret was at school. No, I don't think Margaret was at school. I think they were both at school, but Margaret was asleep. This is in the daytime when she should have been at school. But anyway, that's beside the point. So Margaret had skived or something like that. Bridie answers the door. UPS man says, "There we go. That's £70 import fees to pay." And Bridie's like, "I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
I can't deal with that."
Yeah.
So
quite rightly.
Yeah. So the UPS man was like, "Oh, all right then,"
because he could just go, it's 70 quid.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. There's £70.
Yeah. But so Bridie was like, "No, don't know what that's about." So anyway, then I got the notification that the UPS parcel was going back to the depot to be re-delivered the next day. Well, she was desperate for it. It was a birthday, and it was already late.
Oh.
It should have been here for a birthday last week, and it wasn't. So we could see on the tracking it would be delivered Monday, and she was happy with that. She was
yeah, because it was.
But then it got delivered, and Bridie went, "No." So then I'm like, So it's
£70 a lot of money to.
It's about 20%, ain't it, of the item? I think.
That's a lot. Yeah.
So anyway, so then I was like, right, how can I get this?
Sounds like a lot of money to pay out on your doorstep, don't it?
I know, yeah.
It does. That's £70.
£70, thanks.
So then I went to the UPS depot in Tamworth, which is the size of this industrial estate.
Enormous.
It's staggeringly big.
I think I've been there with Richard.
Yeah,
He's got some engine parts.
Literally the size of this industrial estate, and there's all sorts of UPS going on everywhere. Big trucks, little trucks, trains going past.
Wow.
And you're like, wow. And I pull up to this, what can only be described as a little hut, about the size of this office. And there's a little Danish guy in there. Awesome bloke. Awesome bloke. And I said to him, "I'm on a dad mission." And he laughs. I was like, "There's a birthday present somewhere in that warehouse.
Wow.
And I cannot leave until I've got it." And he's like, "Oh, give me the numbers." So he's tapping in the numbers. He's like, "Right, well, it's not." And it turns out that it's like a third party that was delivering it on behalf of UPS. And that third party management were on holiday. So they had absolutely no way of speaking to anyone. They could see that the UPS wagon that brought it back, because the track gets scanned at every point. Every time someone touches it, they scan it. They could see that the UPS wagon from Leicester, big truck, that had brought it back from Leicester to Tamworth to be resorted to go out the next day, had scanned it. So it was back in the building. Unfortunately, it made it onto the conveyor belt. And the conveyor belt just moves the parcels right round the building. Because if you can imagine, there's bays for everywhere. Stony Stanton Bay, Nuneaton Bay, Cannock Bay.
Wow.
So the parcels go round and round and round. And people are there paid to go, bleep. Right, this one looks like it's supposed to be going there. Right, that goes in that van.
Yeah.
And it all gets sorted into rows for the morning, then loaded onto people at night time, load the van so that when the drivers turn up for this 8 a.m. start, his van's ready to rock and roll.
all his parcels are on there. He's got a manifest. But anyway, this parcel had made its way onto the conveyor belt. He's like looking at his watch, 6 o'clock. He's like, I don't know. We shut at 8. And like, until somebody bleeps, until somebody scans that,
I don't know where it is.
nobody knows where it is. So a random person has to go bleep. Right, that needs to go on that conveyor belt.
No way.
Yeah, so it was just going round and round and round. So it could have been like midnight before a member of staff got to that particular parcel. Anyway, he says, I don't know. I'm going to do my absolute best.
It's in the building.
And he goes in and he speaks to someone and he comes out and he goes in again and comes out and he goes, right, it's been bleeped somewhere as it came in. So it's on the conveyor belt and it should go round the conveyor belt back to its own sorted office again. And when they bleep it, I'll get a ping of where it is and it's got a stop on it now. So someone will go bleep. Oh, someone's here to collect that. Put it to one side, press a button, and that lets the office know that person has to go again. Well, at about 7:40, about 7:30 last night, it comes out of it. It's like this. Yeah, we got it. I'm like, thank God. I've been sat in the car since like, because I left here at 5. I went straight up there.
So you just sit outside his office?
I was in the sunshine. It was lovely. He's like, do you want a drink of water? Do you want to use the loo and stuff? Like, he was sound. He knew that I was on a dad mission. And it wasn't like just, bugger it, just deliver it tomorrow. It's like, I'm here, mate, until we find it.
Yeah.
And if we don't find it by 8, I'll be back at 8 to get it. Sort of thing. So yeah, it was a long process, but it was well worth it. Good morning, Richard.
I can't believe that. That's crazy.
I know, yeah. How you doing?
I didn't die in my sleep. So what
He didn't die in his sleep, so he came in. No, not yet, FN2, but we'll get onto that pretty soon.
Sam was just telling me about his 3-hour wait outside UPS.
Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it?
They kept you waiting on purpose, did he? We weren't even busy.
No,
They were just looking out. They were looking out the window, looking at you.
No, honestly, the guy was really, really sad and really helpful and really, really wanted to get that parcel. It was made up when we got it, but it was just like, mate, that parcel's in there, and like, well, there. Look at the and it was basically the size of in stock.
Yeah.
Like the warehouse is massive.
He's like, that parcel came in on a van and then went into a sorting office, got put on a conveyor belt, and there it will stay until a member of staff bleeps it, and that could be in the next 10 minutes, or that could be at 1:30 in the morning. Because it doesn't have to go back on a van until the morning.
Yeah.
So someone's got to work out which van it's got to go on, do a manifest.
Yeah. So you won't. So like you say, until the process starts and someone bleeps it.
Yeah. So he basically said, right,
it could literally be fucking anywhere.
Yeah. So he said, I've put a stop on it, so when someone does bleep it, they'll hold it.
Yeah.
And that happened about 7:30, and he went in and he got it. And he came back in and he was like a champion. He loved it. I was like, I'm on a dad mission and I'm not leaving until I get that parcel.
Well,
You're right. Were you picking it up like that?
Yeah.
The reason that it went back is because they tried to deliver it and there was only Bridie in and she was like, I ain't paid 70 quid for nothing. Because it was it was like a import duty.
And how much was the item?
Well, obviously,
More than that.
So it was like, I'm not paid.
That's what I mean. If someone turned up when it's 70 quid at the door.
That's for Jim. He wasn't in when the guy was knocking on my toilet door whilst I was having a poo earlier. Hello, are you in there? Yes, I'm in here. It's 7:30 in the morning. And I'm taking a dump.
I'm having a poop.
Well, what time have you finished? I don't know.
I don't schedule
Come in here and help me.
Yeah, I don't schedule it 7:30 to 7:34, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm done, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
You look well minded that was having a poo.
Yeah.
He's like, oh God. I'm like, you're in. Firstly, this isn't Jim's unit,
Yeah,
so it's got no to do with me. So I'll have a poo at my leisure. Thank you.
Yeah.
You look
He didn't want to sign for it then.
No, he didn't. He just wanted to talk to me and leave it here.
Question. I have an FN2 225 brake horsepower usual mods, intake, exhaust, and Dynodaze. Apart from swapping cams, I was wondering if the head and intake will make a good 20. No, not 20 brake horsepower. No, I don't think so. It might make some gains, yeah, but I don't think we're going to 245 brake horsepower without swapping cams. Once cams 2, I would have thought that. Yeah. Oh yeah, and inlet manifold. Morning, Jensen. Hope you're well. Yeah, absolutely. I've got drag cartel cams to go in mine, and I've got 229 brake horsepower at the moment, and I would love 241, but that might not be possible. So we'll find out.
Get what I give you.
I'll get what Richard gives me, which is his man pussy.
Oh dear. That was still your worst.
Bit early.
You
came up with
I
that.
didn't come up with that
I
word.
know
I
you
have
came
no
because
recollection
I
of
was
coming up with
disgusted
No,
with
I
it.
have no recollection of coming up with that word. You came up with that word.
I never.
At the time, I said that's a bit much.
No, you said it, and then I had an image in my mind that stuck with me at that exact time, and I didn't like it. You're welcome, Lex.
What's this bracket now? Or is it a brake pad?
Oh, it's a brake pad. It's supposed to go into this little EBC stand thing. In case we ever run out of brake pads, we just stick those on.
Yeah, it's only one, in fact.
Oh, is it?
It actually only looks like one, so it won't be much good
Is
to
that a
us.
display? Is that like a little display?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, you put your leaflets in and then you wedge your brake.
Yeah, I think so.
The brake pad in. Oh, they are.
Oh dear. What day is it today? Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
It's my last day of being 42.
Oh,
Uh,
I thought it was today. Tomorrow.
we got some treats yesterday off customers. We got some biscuits. We got some Reese's Pieces. It's a bit warm for them. Yeah, I'll be 40. Thanks for that, Keith.
It looks like it's got a magnet in it.
That's probably to stick it to the.
It was.
It must go on the front, mustn't it, somewhere? Maybe I'm missing part of it.
I'll see if there was a bit of metal in it or something for it to stick to. But it looks like a magnet, so I'm assuming it is.
Maybe it's a fridge magnet.
When I fell off the fridge, it
On your toe.
It killed one of the kids if it fell off the fridge.
Hey, I had a bit of a weird moment this morning. You know, parallel universe moment.
Yeah.
Where I'd gone out into the unit and then came back in here. I couldn't get back in this office. For some reason,
you was going into a different office.
No, for some reason my brain completely mashed up and I was trying to push the door to get in.
You forgot that you had to pull the door
Yeah,
open.
I had a little panic. And like instant brain fart moment, like, oh yeah, sort of thing.
I don't just slot in.
Nah, it doesn't. I must be missing part of the display. It should be upstairs somewhere.
That's definitely like a magnet, ain't it? It's
Yeah.
got to be. Right in the middle of it.
Maybe it's just effective. Maybe it's just so that you don't use it as a brake pad and they just stamp that in there.
Maybe we're missing something. Don't know.
Yeah, but it's got all some nice writing on this stuff, so I think that would be.
Yeah, it would stick to it or something, wouldn't you? So you could see it or.
Yeah. It's got some nice writing on it.
No.
It says, please do not use this as a brake pad.
Does it say that?
Warning.
Warning.
Warning, please remove wheel to paint caliper. I was having that conversation with someone the other day.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Never forget that.
He said, I said to him,
He says, double check them to make sure everything's all right, will you? I said, he's painted them through the wheel. It's like, he can't have. I said, he has, Dan. He's painted them through the wheel because, I'll tell you the reason I know he has, is because there's blue paint dribbled all inside the wheel where it's dripped off and on the wheel. So the only way that's got on there is if the wheel wasn't off.
because I said to him, right, we've got a busy day today. And obviously he was dragging his feet. I said, you've still got to paint those calipers, you know. He says, it's all right, Dan, I'll stay late. I was like, oh, all right then. Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, that'll really help us out. Yeah, I'll stay late, Dan. I'll get them done. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. I didn't realise at the time he was homeless. So, and he was putting in lid bins and put them in the skip. But he painted the calipers through the spokes of the wheel. Oh, like, you fucking arsehole. I couldn't believe it. When Richard pointed out to me, I'd already wanted to sack him 3 times.
It took probably more to clean the paint off, didn't it, than to do the calipers in the first place, get the paint off the wheels.
Made more of a mess doing it.
Yeah, made more of a mess doing it.
Doing it
than
properly.
doing the job, yeah.
Got rid of it eventually, didn't I?
Oh.
Happy birthday, that old man. I'm 49, by the way. Are you, Lex? So you're not quite 50 yet.
I need some wood.
Yeah.
I had a bad day the other day. My EP3 needs a new engine. What time can I call you lot up for some advice moving forward? Pretty much any time after 9, buddy. Any time after 9. Probably have some customers land around then, so I'll just be filling in some forms. But yeah, any time after 9, buddy. We're here to help. Yeah. So anyway, before I go, let's have some suggestions for tomorrow's live chat, some topics. So shoot, let's do it. Post in the comment section right now. What do you want to talk about tomorrow on the live chat? If you've got questions, so if you want to know something, or you want to know something about me, or know something about Dynodaze, or Uncle Keith's paint shop, or if you've got a particular car that you want to talk about, or a subject, let me know. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments either later on this video or in the live chat bit now. Yeah, do it. So shoot, let's do it. Who's paying attention? Type away. What comments do we? What suggestions for topics do we want for tomorrow? What Matty breaks on his FN2 next? Well, I can almost tell you exactly what that's going to be, so I'm going to write that down. So let's put where Matty may have his next problem. Okay, that's a good alternative fuel. Did you see they're trying a synthetic fuel? That doesn't surprise me at all. Fuels is a good one. The Honda Day on the 30th. Yeah, I like that. It's a good suggestion. Any more suggestions? Hey Matty, we're moving forward with yours. Your head's completed. The work on your head is completed. So that's that'll be back with us shortly. Any more suggestions before I chip off? Who's giving me a thumbs up? Because I could do with a thumbs up. I'm feeling a bit like I need a couple of thumbs up. Cheapest way to rebuild or replace a K20. Okay. Yeah, man, all sorted. Jensen, thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, give us a thumbs up on the actual YouTube video. Yeah, so subject-wise, there's some good topics for tomorrow. And if you think of any others and you're watching this back later, put them in the comments below. I think that's a good idea. I've got 5 likes. That's not so bad. We could do with some more. Do you know Dynodaze hit 2 million views last week? 2 million. That's more than some movies that get made. Modfix, I've seen that. I'm having that problem myself. Now the Dynodaze main channel will upload really, really quickly, but the Uncle Keith's Paint Shop channel will not. And I wonder whether that's YouTube actually allowing you sort of server space or whatever it is, or bandwidth. So I'm not sure why that is like that, but I know I can make a direct comparison between 2 YouTube channels that I run and can see that there is a difference. I don't think they're all different, Mark. I don't know, man. I generally think it's to do with YouTube themselves rather than the actual content that you're making. I noticed the other day that I did a Dynodaze live chat for an hour and 38 minutes, and that got more views than any of my other live chats. So I don't know whether that's just because it was a particularly long one that people thought they'd sit and watch it. I'm not sure, but I also noticed that the live chat that I started when I wasn't in the office because my StreamYard app wasn't working also got more views. With Dynodaze live chat, you pretty know what you're going to get, don't you? It's me waffling on, talking nonsense and speaking to you guys. They're alluring to themselves, my friend. Alluring to themselves. I did see the crash at Silverstone. That was madness. I was glad he was all right because it looked horrendous, didn't it? He slid for ages on his lid before he hit that gravel. Yeah, he's lucky that he walked away from that one, I thought. And there were people, if you go on the internet, my mate Andy at Outbrew Auto Centre, massive GP fan, he says on the internet, there were loads of people criticising him for something that he'd done. I'm like, mate, a really fast car hit another really fast car and it flipped over. There's not like he could have done something differently to that. It was like, that's why they're called accidents. He wasn't doing crash for cash. It's like when it goes wrong, you can die. So, yeah. God bless the Halo. The Halo. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Yeah, crazy, man. They're real men. Real men. Not, oh, referee, he touched my foot and I fell over and screamed and rolled over. He's like, just cut me out this car. I need to go to the pub. That's the kind of men we're talking about there. Yes, also, peace out. I am going to go and get on with things. So thanks very much for stopping by. Thanks for the suggestions for tomorrow's live chat. And I shall see you later. And look out for the video tonight that should land on the EP3, Cosmic Grey EP3. That video should be out tonight. You're going to enjoy that. So peace out. See you later. Hey, up.
Morning, bud.